saxophone quartets have become quite popular. In America alone, there are dozens of professional saxophone quartets who commission and perform new works for their instruments. This music, with the generic title Quartet for Saxophones, is by the Canadian composer Anita A.D. Perry. It was written for the Amherst Saxophone Quartet of Buffalo, New York, an ensemble with a 20-year history of commissioning and performing new music, and a number of compact disc recordings to their credit, including this one of Perry's quartet. For more information on all kinds of instruments and their composers, check out our website, composersdatebook.org. Composer's Datebook is produced by APM, American Public Media, and the American Composers Forum, reminding you that all music was once new.
Hi friends, Joe Hafner here. Are you interested in buying, selling, trading, or renting a house? Or maybe you're in the market for buying or selling a car? Or perhaps selling or giving away clothes, furniture, or electronics? Well, I can help you out. Just email me, Joe, at Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. That's Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. Email me today with your item and or items, and together we'll come up with a creative way to buy, sell, trade, or rent any reasonable item or service that you want. Keep in mind, though, I don't deal with the exchange of firearms, alcohol items, drugs, or anything illegal or immoral. So send me an email today at Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. Welcome back to Studio 27 as we're rolling down the highway at 377 miles per hour. Yeah, that Mustang was fast, but I don't think it could go quite that fast, could it? Who knows? Show ended way too soon. Anyway, I'm talking about Knight Rider 2008-2009. That's the theme you're hearing in the background. It's time to find out who's celebrating a birthday today, so without further delay, let's get that celebrity birthday music up there, shall we?
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you? Other people have birthdays. Why are we treating yours like a funeral?
Bones, I don't want to be lectured.
And before I run down the list of celebrity birthdays today, if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. And you share your birthday with these famous people. Are you ready? Sally Field. Yeah, Sally Field. Remember her for Oscars for Norma Ray and Places in the Heart. Forrest Gump, of course, the original Smokey and the Bandit movies. And get this, she is 67 today. 67 for Sally Field. Glenn Frey of the Eagles is 65, and I understand the doctors are telling him to take it easy. Ethan Hawke of Training Day, Dead Poets Society, is 43. Thandie Newton of Crash, Beloved, and The Pursuit of Happiness is 41. And those are the celebrity birthdays for today. Now, let's go back in time for today in history and find out what happened on this date in history. So I have room for one passenger in the time machine, and I've chosen you. Yeah, come on up here. Let's get in the car, and I'll turn on the time circuits, shut off the radio, start the engine, and away we go. And now, as we go back in time, we set to the year 1923, November 6, 1923. Colonel Jacob Schick received a patent for the first electric shaver. November 6, 1923. Now, I understand up until then it was a cutthroat industry. I know it was a bad joke, but you were thinking it too. On this date, 1923, the electric razor came of age. And now for more of Today in History, before we go to our Cross or Wide Missouri, and then the Hump Day song, here is the Associated Press.
November 6th, 1860. Abraham Lincoln, a former Illinois congressman who opposes slavery, wins a four-way race for president. After his victory, southern states begin to secede from the Union. The American Civil War breaks out the following year. 1854. John Philip Sousa, the king of American march music, is born in Washington, D.C. 1893. Composer Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky dies in St. Petersburg, Russia. He was 53 years old. And 1931. Movie and stage director Mike Nichols is born in Berlin. Among his films, The Graduate, Catch-22, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and The Birdcage. Among his Broadway shows, The Odd Couple, and Monty Python's Spamalot. Today in history, November 6th. Tim McGuire, The Associated Press.
This is Across Our Wide Missouri with Bob Priddy.
Through the years, millions of farmers have placed billions of acres in the federal land bank. It's an idea that began in Missouri, invented by the president of the St. Louis Casket Company, whose only public office-holding experience before 1916 had been a term on the board that drafted the St. Louis City Charter. But in 1916, he became the governor of Missouri. He inherited a state $2 million in debt and a world on the verge of war. We'll tell his story in a minute.
Hi friends, did you miss a recent episode of First Cup? Or maybe you'd like to hear one or more of my old shows again? Then may I suggest a couple of convenient ways you could go back in time and hear an old show again. Check me out on Stitcher by either downloading the app from the opening page of my website, tinyurl.com/Gunther'sHouse, on your PC, Mac, Linux, or tablet computer, or on your smartphone at tinyurl.com/GuntherMobile. That's good on your Android, iOS, or Windows phone. Also, you can check out this app by going to your phone's online store, or download the Spreaker app by going to your phone's online store as well.
Frederick Gardner had come to Missouri from Tennessee when he was 17 to work as a clerk for a St. Louis coffin company. When he was 24, he became a stockholder and then secretary of the company, and finally this company president. In the 1920s, he became its owner. In 1913, before he'd been involved in politics, Gardner developed a plan for making loans to farmers on long terms at low rates of interest. The idea came from his study of European land systems. The Missouri legislature liked his idea and put it into effect, and it was the first land bank plan anywhere in America on the basis of the federal land bank plan adopted later by Congress. The same year, he became a member of the St. Louis Board of Freeholders, which was to draft the new city charter. His articles in newspapers explained the new charter were key efforts at seeing the document approved by the voters. That effort led to his nomination as a Democratic candidate for governor in 1916. He defeated his opponent, Sedalia Judge Henry Lamb, that November, and quickly demanded new taxes be passed. He got them. He taxed corporations, inheritances, and started the state income tax. And by the time he was out of office, the state was in the black. He tightened the purse strings elsewhere. The legislature passed a bill providing pensions for the needy blind, but would not pass a bill to finance those pensions, so Gardner vetoed the pension bill. During his term, the state park system was established, the prison system was put under the jurisdiction of one board, a state tax commission was set up to adjust the property values throughout Missouri. He recommended organization of a state highway commission and a $60 million bond issue for road improvements. In 1919, he called a special legislative session to ratify the federal constitutional amendment giving women the right to vote. Missouri became the 11th state to ratify. Later that year, Missouri ratified the amendment that set up prohibition. Gardner did not have any special love for booze. He had decreed that no alcoholic beverages would be used at his inauguration, but he had the grace to deal with that matter tolerantly when a mix-up substituted champagne for sparkling grape juice. Early in his administration, the nation was aware that we were being drawn unwillingly into the European War. And finally, on April 2, 1917, President Wilson asked Congress for a declaration. Gardner knew immediately much of the burden of any war would be borne by farmers. He immediately organized a Missouri Council of Defense under Dean F.B. Mumford of the University of Missouri's School of Agriculture. In time, there were 12,000 council members, and it was an effective organization that propelled Missouri from 14th in the nation in the value of crops produced in 1916 to 5th in 1917. 1 million Missourians signed pledges conserve food, and the governor's family was no different. The backyard of the executive mansion became a thrift garden, supplying the family with vegetables. Chickens strolled around the grounds. One of their 3 children, William, then a student at the University of Missouri, finally persuaded his father to authorize an ambulance unit from the school so the young men there could go to Europe too. After his term, he was chairman of the Democratic State Finance Committee in the campaign of 32. Franklin Roosevelt named him to the Business Planning Advisory Council. Gardner died not long after at the age of 64. Frederick Gardner was a casket maker whose federal land bank is still important to farmers today, who set the taxing program that pulled our state out of the financial deficit and which continues to finance our state today, and who mobilized thousands of Missourians for the home effort during World War I. He was born on this date, the 6th of November in 1869.
Welcome back to Studio 27. Couldn't resist. I was searching for new music beds last Saturday night when I should have been sleeping. But I came across part of the soundtrack to A Christmas Story, and I thought, I am definitely using this one. This one's good for all year long. And if you've never had a hound, it probably won't be as much fun, but if you've never been around hounds, it's a funny movie. Funny movie. Anyway, time for the hump song of the week, my friends. Marks the halfway point of the working man's work week, and halfway through the point of this show, and halfway through the point of the program, yada, yada, yada. So the song I've chosen for today is from the class of 1982, and a song written by Michael Martin Murphey and recorded by Johnny Lee. The song is Cherokee Fiddle, and Murphy's version of the song went to number 58 on the Hot Country Singles in 1977. It was later recorded by American country music artist Johnny Lee and released in October of 1982 as the first single from the album Sounds Like Love. The song reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart. And now, without further delay, from the year that I was in 5th grade, boy, that was a long time ago, and here is Cherokee Fiddle from Johnny Lee.
Devil